Okay, what's up, everyone? It's Phantom. We're taking a look at the market. Bitcoin did not hold the weekly support that it's held since 2022, and as I mentioned, that was one of my last lines of defense of remaining bullish. I it's difficult to say where we stop from here. I had mentioned on stream that if we did close below it, that I anticipated us to go somewhere to the 29 to 34K region before we got any type of relief. We're right around that region now. We nuked straight down to it. So that said, I'm not. It's going to be really hard to find where the bottom is. There are some optimistic things to be looking at, but as far as how I play these markets, I will wait for confirmation. I may throw, sometimes I obviously not financial advice, but I throw some money out there just because when there's this much fear in the market tends to be when the big players are continuing to instill that fear while they're gobbling up huge amounts of Bitcoin, their altcoins that they're interested in. The market, the fear in the market is definitely beneficial for the large parties, and they do use us as prey, right? They want to they these entities have the power to keep releasing these news articles and things like that to make things look worse and worse and worse, so that more and more fear gets instilled in the market and they can continue buying at these lower prices, which is what we're seeing. There's huge orders going through at these rates, at these prices, for enormous amounts of capital, and I'll bring those to your attention today on the stream. So, this looking at Bitcoin quickly, obviously we did not close at or above this weekly trend line that's held up since 2020. We could go from here down to 29K. I don't see us going much further below that. I think the 33K is going to take some time to get through. That's a monthly support. So I think it's going to take a while for us to be able to chew through that level. But we ripped down hard with all of the bad news that we've had with the interest rates going up, the Fed constantly talking about inflation, trying to curb it, the Bank of England coming out raising its interest rates, saying that they don't know if they can curb inflation. The US stable coins were having a hard time pegging the dollar. All these things at once is a perfect storm of events to just annihilate the market. But even the S&P, the futures are trading down already. So it's tough to find out where the bottom is, and that's why I try to remain somewhat optimistic on the market, because you're not going to snipe the bottom most of the time. It's just beneficial for me, or it's been beneficial for me, obviously. Again, not financial advice. It's your money, your investments, but I've found value in the past years of this, of just averaging down and playing the longer game. Kind of in my small portion sizes, I can't compete with obviously the whale prices, but I do tend to accumulate the whole way down, and it's served me well in the last cycle, and I'm assuming it will serve me well for the next cycle up. So, without further ado, we'll look at the Fear and Greed Index. We are as low as I've seen it. We are at 11. So, we are in the lower depths of extreme fear, which is why more than likely we're seeing these huge wheels taking advantage of this. When there's blood in the streets, be greedy. When people are greedy, be fearful. So, I'll kind of point out the news articles of why I think that the whales are out in full force. It's kind of been documented since, blockchain is public ledger. This information can be researched and verified. So the first news article I have, the crypto prices slump over the weekend. Bitcoin falls below $34,000 during Sunday trading to about half of its November high. The crypto market fell over the weekend, mirroring the slide of a broader stock market. The world's largest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, fell to 34,000 on Sunday afternoon, a 3.9% drop from Friday evening. According to the prices from CoinDesk earlier in the afternoon, Bitcoin slid below 44,000 to about half of its all-time high. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies more widely are known for their violent price swings. Individual investors controlled by the market for years, but institutional investors such as hedge funds and money managers have started to dominate it. Which is true and false. The market, as it continues to grow in size, it will be less and less manipulated just because it will take so much funding. But they're really quick to point out Bitcoin and its price increases and drops and its volatility. But I would argue that there's some, traditional markets that are some type of tech markets. If we look at Tesla, Tesla drops $100 in a day. It can have a 10%, 8% swing. That's not unheard of. But everybody right now, with fear as high as it is, everyone and their sister is attacking cryptocurrency. And when I've seen that historically in the past, it's when we're starting to form a bottom on the market. This may be drawn out, and it may not be to the next halving till we get our full bull market. I am still thinking that we have one more bull cycle left in us, and that this fear is making me very interested in the market. It's not, the slow bleed was extremely painful, and then this nuke kind of caused a lot of capitulation. I certainly am not selling any of my cryptocurrencies to the whales that are gobbling it up in boatloads. I will hold it for the long haul, and like I said, that's served me well in the past, and I think it will continue to serve me well. The other news article I have is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin still have not found a bottom. Are whales feeding on investors' extreme fear? The answer is yes, they are. Bitcoin and Ethereum continued to post declines alongside spurts in 24-hour trading volumes. Bitcoin and Ethereum 24-hour volumes rose 51% and 55% respectively to $36.84 billion and $20.82 billion. U.S. stock futures also traded in the Reddit press time. Cryptocurrency Michael Van de Pope noted the lack of movement in Bitcoin price, with the volume going crazy during the weekend. He ascribed the heightened volume to a whales game. The downward movement on Bitcoin, all the way to 33,900 levels, is what Sentiment likes to see in terms of capitulation. The market intelligence platform said that trader sentiment has fallen to 6-week lows. Weak hands leaving the space is generally what is needed to truly notably bounce. I subscribe to that. I agree with that. The other news article I have is with Cardano. Whales seem to be gobbling up it as well. Cardano, or ADA, the native coin for Cardano network, is on the cusp of closing its 5th week in a bearish note, annihilating gains made in the last half of March. I have held Cardano since 2017. I bought for my type of investment strategy, I bought a good amount of it when it was in the 6 to 10 cent region. I did sell it in the $2.75 region. I only sold maybe 20% of my holdings, and I've held it to reinvest it, so I likely will be reinvesting that into Cardano and gobbling up more and staking it and earning passive rewards. Retail interest jumps. Despite the unanticipated price turmoil, retail interest in Cardano surprisingly seems to be growing with every dip, as more traders view it as a rare and most probably the only opportunity to buy Cardano at these prices. According to the Into the Block, Cardano retail interest has been increasing rapidly. Last week, the AI-based crypto data analytics firm tweeted that the balance held by traders addressing holdings for less than 30 days has increased by 186%. The whales are also scooping it up. They bought over 200 million Cardano. Whales have also been scooping up huge Cardano stashes, over $200 million worth. This is despite a lot of dumping their holdings over a 7-month period that saw ADA plunge by over 60%. The last 6 days, the whales' addresses with a balance of 1 to 10 million Cardano has shot up. So they're gobbling it up. Retail's gobbling it up. Cardano, at least. Bitcoin, it seems that there's big institutions, big money scooping Bitcoin up at these prices. And that makes me think most of these companies, like I've stated before in the stream, have very long-term strategies. They're not worried about Bitcoin going down to 29,000 because they plan on holding their Bitcoin as a store value. So that's what I have for today. The best advice I can give is be patient. This will turn around. It has before, it has, and it will again, in my opinion. I will start likely averaging down. Anybody that's new to investing, I tend to recommend that they obviously do their own research, but start to like average in at these prices. Don't go all in thinking you're gonna grab a bottom and make bank. The much clearer strategy is just to buy things, so much of a certain coin every 2 weeks for an entire year. Your gains would be much higher than trying to buy bottoms and sell tops. So that's the advice I would leave. That's just my opinion. Do your own research. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I hope this is beneficial. It always can get worse before it gets better, but I've seen this in the markets before, and this fear is necessary, and it will be a good thing long term. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope you have an amazing Monday. Here's to the markets turning around earlier this week. Hopefully, we can start to brush off some of the awful global uncertainty and news and inflation and fear and recessions and all come together for a final strong bounce through the roof. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.